I have questions. Yeah, I have a couple questions. Dude, one more question about the balloon. He took a pretty strong stance last night that taking down the balloon was no tolerance. Moving forward, is that the stance of the United States? If any of these surveillance balloons come over the United States or get into our area, that we will be shooting them down moving forward?
You can't go into hypotheticals and speak to each case because we just don't know. I think what you heard from the president is that he's going to put our national security first and the American people first, and that's what is important. And I'll just leave it as that.
We don't have any clear understanding about why the previous balloon was taken down versus this one. What made this balloon take this balloon down more important than the previous one during his administration?
Look, what I can say is the president takes this very seriously when it comes to making sure we're protecting our national security and keeping Americans safe. We've kind of laid out very clearly this past week and how we approached this most recent balloon and why the president asked the Pentagon to take the steps that they did, right? And so I just don't have much more to say on that. Don't want to get into hypotheticals from here. I would just refer you to what the president said very, very clearly last night in his remarks.
Yeah. Is it true that the Chinese were using balloons to spy on Japan, Taiwan, some other Asian allies?
Something on that for you. So these balloons are all part of a PRC fleet of balloons developed to conduct surveillance operations, as you know, Steve, which have also violated the sovereignty of other countries. And over the past several years, Chinese balloons have previously been spotted over countries across 5 continents. We have been in touch with allies and partners on this issue. I don't have further details for you at this time, but we'll keep you posted and updated. A lot of this is diplomatic conversations that are happening, and that's something that the State Department, that's under the purview of State Department. So any other further questions, I would refer you to the State Department.
Is the president going to bring this up with President Xi at some point?
So don't have a call to preview with President Xi, and I certainly don't have an agenda because there's no call to really speak to.
He said he wouldn't want to be Xi in their speech last night.
I mean, I would just leave it as the way the president said it. I'm not going to go into, the mind of the president of what he said. I think the president has been very clear on his approach and our approach with China. It's managing a strategic competition with China. We're not looking for any escalation. What we're looking for is competition. So I'll just leave it that.
You don't have the intent of the line or what you guys were thinking?
I don't understand that. What did you say?
You said you don't want to go into his mind, but there's thought goes into all of these speeches and what was maybe generally said.
That I'm just going to leave the president's word. He said what he said, and I'm just going to leave it there. I'm talking about our approach with China, and it's going to continue to be that approach. It hasn't changed.
You don't mind? China is now, a diplomat is asking for the recovered parts to be returned to China. Is there any conversation about that in the U.S., or what's your response to their request?
I just don't have a response to that. All right.